Hello, good evening. You're in the office for a meeting. It's good morning, actually. Good morning, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. Coming to you live from Applewood Station in Denver, Colorado, where it is 7 degrees Celsius and sunny. It looks like it's going to be sunny for a while. Good morning, Jackson. I'm doing Japanese work, so you can join me on doing your Japanese work, except you're at work, so. But that's all right. All I'm doing now is looking for the board stuff that I took pictures of yesterday in class. Work, yeah. All right. Well, 7 degrees Celsius in Colorado is not that cold because we've got, as usual, 0% humidity. So, 7 degrees Celsius is. I might wear a light jacket, maybe. I don't know. So, I'm gonna put some music on though. So, in the house here, yeah, fleece hoodie weather. The way that this room is set up, all the circuits on this wall are rigged to one light switch over there by the door, including all the switches that go to my PC. And last night, my roommate came in and said, "Oh, you want me to turn off all the lights?" Click, and shut down my PC on while it was still in the middle of running. So I'm still powering stuff back up because, of course, I can't remember all the things that I usually use for this thing. So I'm still doing a lot of restart on stuff. I mean, everything seems to be okay. All my homework stayed and everything like that, but it was still kind of like. So my other roommate already purchased a light switch that goes over the light switch that has the little plastic door over it. So you have to lift the plastic door to throw the light switch. We changed the light switch to a red plate that says emergency, and stuff like that, so that it was obvious you weren't supposed to mess with this particular thing, but that doesn't stop people apparently. So yeah, just one flick of a light switch and this entire side of my room turns off. And it's one of those, like, we've had this discussion a couple of times. The light switches in this house, it was like the electrician that put this house together was an idiot, because some of the light switches control outlets where both outlets turn off, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's only supposed to be one of the outlets turns off. But in the case of this room, it's two outlets, so it's all four of the plugs. All four of them are on the light switch, and it's like, why would you do that? I mean, it's like that's half the room gets turned off by throwing that switch. So one of the things since my roommate's an electrical engineer, one of the things he's going to do at some point is rewire them so they're back to where they're supposed to be. But it was like my kiddo's room was the same way. Two of the light switches were not functional at all. One of the light switches was connected to the light switch, or one of the outlets was connected to the light switch, but both outlets were connected. And it was just like, why would you do that? All right. So the work for today is this. We ended up with the very end of the class yesterday, and he was just running rampant on trying to get everything out of the way as quickly as possible. Done with the monologue. Yep, the morning monologue. So, how about that weather out there in Burbank, huh, people? Okay. Start the Johnny Carson thing. Okay, see you later, man. Thanks for joining me. Here I am. That's fine. I've got to finish these sheets, and I really can't be on here for more than about another 30 minutes anyway. because I got on late. 'Cause I got up late this morning because I was feeling sick. I'm still kind of not feeling top of the world, but I'm not feeling bad anymore. I'm just tired. And yesterday was the long day. And with the where I had archaeology first, or I mean biology first, and then oh, Nohoga and Yori, so comparisons. So it's about, we got to talk about, like, it's just a worksheet to make sure we caught the Nohoga and Yori. A Nohoga Yori, or A Nohoga B Yori. Ski. I feel like there's a missing piece. Maybe there is. I probably should go check to make sure, because I took pictures of the board, but I didn't take pictures of my notes. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get my notes. I'll be right back. And the notes are extensive for yesterday, so yeah. This is a Eitobito. Dochira. It's totally all right. I started late today. And so it's not on you. Mm-mm. Yep, Sarge already wandered off to a meeting, so but he dropped in long enough to say hi, and that's about where we were. But we have Jackson, so which is cool. Always good to have Jackson around. Even if Jackson is working on an article and can't talk a whole lot, I get it. I get it. I mean, I'll cry a little, but I get it. We finally went through double particles, Jackson. I've never gotten double particles. I kept learning them, like hard learning them. You know what I mean? Like in this instance, you just need to know you need to use niwa, and that's it. And it was like, that was so stupid, especially since the answer is it a place and the subject of this discussion? Then use ni and wa. It's that simple. And I've been sitting here bulk learning that in this instance I need to use dewa, and in this instance I need to use niwa, and in this instance and it's like, really? It was that simple? It was like, really? 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 Yeah. It's that simple. Watashi wa chitensha de ikimasu, right? I go by bike, right? Pretty simple. And you could say, chitensha de mo ikimasu. I also go by bike. I mean, it's like that simple. It's like, really? Really? There's no go. But yeah. Right? But like Brent is going by bus, right? What you could say, basu de mo ikimasu. Yeah, same. That's exactly what we're saying. Same. You know? But I mean, it's that simple. And it's like, I've been hard learning dewa and niwa and all of these and demo, and now I feel so stupid because I'm like, it's just easy. It's not complicated. Honto. Honto, hit the books. Funnier if you know the kanji. That's a funny joke. So we learned. Right, there you go. That's what it was. Well, actually, that's the problem that I've gotten all along is like you get, especially when it's me learning Japanese, because my first formal Japanese class was in 1992. And they've changed quite a bit in teaching style and the way they do things and all of that stuff. Honto is really, it's not Okinawan slang, it's actually normal Japanese. Honto. But the characters for it are book and hit. So, hit the books. It makes it funny. Because, and it makes some sense. Hon is used as the origin, like Nihon. That same kanji means the origin of, or the origin of the land of the rising sun. Because the ni in Nihon is sun, so it's the origin of the sun, which makes sense. That hon then is origin, and to is to hit or hit on it. So in other words, you're hitting the origin, right? I'm asking you, you know, is this really the origin? And you're like, yes, this is the point right here. This is the point right here. Point, point, point. So you're hitting the point, and that's what honto means. And that, but you can also intentionally misread it, to misread hon to mean book, because it does, and to mean hit, like smack somebody. So you can misread it all over the place. Hey, Bames, how you doing, man? Yeah, 1992 was my first Japanese class, and then I lived there for years, and now I'm back in another formal Japanese class, and I'm going, the grammar structure, why is this not holding in my head? I've literally been immersed in this language for 30 years, and I can't speak it still. And boy, my brain does not want to take to Japanese, and it has always been this way. I will make my brain do this, but it's certainly fighting me all the way down. Is not the thing that my brain's doing well. But it is one of my life goals to be fluent in this language. And so here I am doing my work on fluency in this language. All right. How would you say I don't like two things equally? Yeah. What's going to end up having to happen? Well, and that's fine, Brent. Except that, I mean, part of this is kind of like saying, I still can't repair cars even though I've been in an auto shop for 30 years, you know? Well, yeah, but why have you been in an auto shop for 30 years? It's kind of like, well, what you been doing in that auto shop for 30 years? And maybe, Jackson, at some point in time, you're just going to have to get on here and we're going to have to practice. Maybe during some of my night cycles or something. Yeah. I mean, I was getting a lot faster. Well, and I still have a high comfort level in the language. The 3 years that I spent in Japan, my Japanese is not awesome. And it is missing grammar points. But every day in class, my teacher comes in and asks me some flippant question in Japanese, and I respond to him and have some joke that I make out of it and something like that, and I just chatter on in Japanese. It's not perfect. I know I'm speaking, you, me, coffee, shop, go. I know that's pretty much what I'm saying, but I am happy to blather away in Japanese and just burble along and pick whatever words come to mind. And, so I'm still fluent. I'm just not proficient at all. And part of it is because this is frickin' boring. I mean, doing all of this is super boring, And that there's a lot to be said for this is super boring. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is I'd like to practice some of this stuff because, like, okay, I just learned that A to B to dochira no hoga yasui desu ka? Okay, I can say that, and that's fine, but now I need to say, you know, put it in practical use. You know, this book plus this book, you know, the, um, この本とどちらの方が安いですか? You know, be able to use that and be able to fire it off in my head instead of having to glance at my notes to go, did I say that right? And there are things where um A to B wellどっちでも好きじゃないです。That's not right. I'm already sure I did that. Oh yeah, I'm going back to Japan. Don't think I'm not. Totally going back to Japan. I just want to be able to be useful when I go back to Japan. Yep, there you go. I am not sure I did that right. Because he didn't put it up on the board. Oh, that's it. It's because it's mo. So is it A mo? B mo? A mo, B mo, ski ja nai desu. That sounds wrong in my ears. A mo, B mo, ski ja nai desu. It does not sound right. I mean, not just because I'm using the rude form. A to B でもあどっちでも好き きじゃないです。I don't know. I don't have it on any of my notes, and that's why I'm worried. He was running out of time at the end of class, which is amazing. The class is 2 frickin' hours long every day. So the fact that he was running out of time on this grammar point has got me a little concerned. All right. Know that mean in English. I need a switch button on my... Wonder if there is. Hey, Brent, if you're out there still, is there a language switch key? Windows spacebar. No. Windows plus spacebar. Left, Alt, and Shift. That's it. Nice. Thank you. Does this come at the beginning or the end of the sentence? Huh? Nouns. Oh yeah, I'm okay with that. E-type adjectives. Um, E-type adjectives. These are all nice. I don't know. Now I'm starting to get kind of concerned because the notes don't seem to cover a lot of this stuff. Hey, Ray. Good to see you. Yesterday I was drawing Europe and ended up and Eurasia, I guess. Yesterday I was drawing Eurasia and was like drawing through Mongolia, and I was thinking, Ray was over here somewhere. I was like, you missed the one show where I was drawing your country. I was doing it for archaeology, and so I'm doing a report on human migration, and it was one of those things where I was drawing a map so I could show where all the migration was going through, and in Asia and Europe. So and I was just like, hey, this is where Ray lives. I mean, it was the entire country, so you're somewhere in there. But it was still cool. And now I feel like I'm missing something. All right. Um, a little further back than that, because I'm in archaeology class. So we're going all the way back to Homo sapiens and Homo Neanderthal. And Denisovans. So the proto-humans, before humans were humans and had societies and stuff. Yeah, that far back. But it was cool. It was a lot of fun to draw in that era. Like in that world. Kirei na no de. Right? Well, some people believed leaving Africa was a bad idea. The evidence is starting to become so weird and convoluted, although it kind of makes sense. Like, there's evidence that we left Africa and then turned around and went back to Africa and then left Africa again. Like, we're like, nope, 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 nope. We're like a cat. We want out. No, we want back in. No, we want out. We want back in. We want out. We want back in. That was when cats decided to friend us. They're like, oh, you guys left Africa and then went back and then left and then went back again. Yeah, we understand that. We'll be your friends now. I need to write that down because that'd be freaking funny. There we go. I get extra points with my biology teacher if I make jokes and memes. So, okay, I can stay on for another about 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna have to go because, of course, I've got class. And class starts at 12:30. And if I don't get out of here by 11:30, I can't pick up lunch on the way to school. Kirei na no de finish my homework. It's all good. It's all good, guys. You know what? This is supposed to be that. That's what this stream is all about. Is us working together as a team all over the world. With Ray here, we now have like connections all over the world. And so that's the whole point. The whole point's getting our work done together as a team. So don't worry if all you're doing is lurking. I'm trying to figure out what E-type adjectives. It doesn't say anything about E-type adjectives in my book, and that's aggravating. And I didn't have notes on E-type adjectives, so I was like, that's nigh. This is nigh. I mean, like literally, there's like a half of a chapter here, or half of a page. Oh, I absolutely love mechanical pencils. Like you can see, I even just keep them around. I mean, this is the cheap mechanical pencils. I've got very expensive mechanical pencils over there at my art desk. But yeah, I don't like regular pencils. They drive me crazy. and I haven't since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I got in trouble for it too. Like the teachers always wanted me to use number two pencils. I guess because they thought that somehow I would cheat if I used a mechanical pencil. And I hated the number two pencils. You needed to sharpen them all the time. I had to kind of get up and do stupid stuff with them all the time. It was just irritating. And this is kind of a problem. I think we need to go back over it. It is definitely a superior instrument. And a lot less wasteful. Like, you have to sand down those pencils all the time. Just wood that just keeps getting eaten up. Whereas, a mechanical pencil, all you've got in there is graphite. Oh, yeah. See, there you go. I like that. Right? I mean, let's be realistic here. That's the whole thing, right? All right, I have finished this homework. There are a number of really interesting and expensive pencils that I ended up inheriting from my dad because he was a draftsman and he drew house plans and things like that. And before he passed away, I asked him if I could have all of his drawing stuff. And he said, "Sure, but why?" And I said, because cartoonists and draftsmen are pretty much the same kind of person. We use the same tools. And he's like, I never thought of it that way. Of course you can have all of the stuff. And so I inherited all of his tools. And I've got some really interesting pencils and pens and things that some of them date back to the 1960s. And they're really interesting and fascinating. And every time I draw with them, I feel kind of like I'm being part of my dad, kind of doing a thing that dad would do. And so that's kind of cool. All right, I finished that worksheet. And I think that's all I'm going to do for the day. I think we're pretty much at the end of the day for me. I've got to make sure I put this back in my satchel, because if I don't, I can't take notes today. And I'm in cultural anthropology today. So, at some point, things will settle down a little bit. But I was sick all weekend, and so being sick meant that I'm behind in all of my homework. So now I got to do all my homework, which is what we got to do now. Which is all right. We'll do that. But yeah, I think I'm going to get on going, head on into school, do my things today, because I'm meeting with, I'm having my cultural anthropology class, and then I'm meeting with a buddy for after lunch stuff. So I will see you all a little later on. I'm glad you all joined me today. Good to see you, Ray. I will be back on Friday morning, and Friday morning American time for you, Ray. And of course, I'll be on tonight and tomorrow night as well. But tomorrow is Thursday, so I'll actually be late Thursday night because it's actually my game night too. So I'm going to have a game that night, so you know how that goes. Sometimes I get here on time and sometimes I don't. But either way, I'll be here tonight and then probably here some of tomorrow night, and then I'll be back on Friday morning for you guys. So I'll see you all Friday morning. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful evening for you, Ray. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars, guys. Bye-bye.